I want to turn the floor over to Sybilla, a former defensive back who's been watching Talanoa Hufanga very closely and has a full scouting report to give. What have you seen?
All right, so Hufanga was drafted, and Kyle Shanahan verbatim was enamored with him because of something John Lynch said. And John Lynch said, word for word, verbatim, I see a lot of myself in you. Ooh. So I want to start with it because John Lynch is my favorite player. When I played, he's the reason I played free safety. He's the reason I was so vicious on the field and parents hated me. He's the reason my number was 47.
Oh, wow.
I mean, I loved John Lynch growing up. For him to say that is like, whew. So I decided to watch the championship game against Oregon, the recent one, and I noticed a couple of things. So the first thing is that Hufanga is really good at sticking his nose into things. So I want to go with what's right about him first. He sticks his nose places where the offense doesn't want to see it. He's around the football. He attacks the football. He sees a screen. He sees a handoff. He comes flying full tilt, and he's going to put him in that game. I can't believe they didn't throw a flag. He literally sat butt first on top of the pile because there was nothing to do. And like John Madden said, either get in it or get out of it. And Hufanga has this old style football mentality of get in it. No matter what, put a hit there.
Got it.
He's the same guy, however, in that game who on fourth down in the fourth quarter almost blew this may have cost them the game. The punter got the ball away big time. He took 2 more steps, wrapped him up with his arms, didn't let go, lifted him up off the ground, and body slammed him right on his backside. And the referee was so shocked he went like that. It wasn't, okay, it's a flag. Like, what kind of...
Assaulting the punter.
Right, it really was. And it was, so, and like, he squeezed tighter the more into the tackle he went. It wasn't like, oh, he hit him and he went, oh no, like that. No, he wrapped him up. That's Hufanga. Okay, so he
could be a 15-yard penalty waiting to happen.
I don't want to give Russell Wilson another down. I don't want to give Kyler Murray another down, and I don't want Stafford any closer to the end zone because of things like that. And Hufanga should start on our special teams.
Exactly. So you can't be doing stuff like that.
Yeah, and I think that's something that he has an instinct to hit. He likes to hit. He's a big hitter.
Okay.
Listen. Okay. So those 2 things. Remember that hitting the punter and sitting on the pyre. No one sits butt first on the pyre. He does. He also is going to be very susceptible in his early technique to deception. So one of the things I watched in that game on a very crucial fourth down, they faked the pass to a running back in the flat. He abandoned his receiver assignment, bit on it, and came flying downhill at the running back, and the quarterback dumped it right over his head as he was jumping. This was against Oregon, and that busted the game open.
See, that's the thing. When people call you instinctive, sometimes that just means you're a gambler.
Right, and see, Sherman, for all of the things people don't like about him, he stays in your lane.
Yes.
He doesn't bite on... The other thing is Sherman is he's a brain case. He's not going to bite on things like that very often. But Hufanga does that kind of thing. He, however, is really good. I think the Niners have to blitz him off the edge.
Yeah.
So in the same game, he got 2 sacks.
Ooh.
And he off the edge.
Yeah.
And that's what I like the most. His hands need some work. He also dropped an easy deflected pass in that game.
I saw him pick one off though in camp. It was in the receiver's hands, like it was a stop route on the sideline. Tony Sherfield caught it like this, and Hufanga just ripped it out of his hands. He is around the ball. I've seen it.
He's very physical. He's on top of things. As long as he's, but let's see, the mother NFL, they're going to focus on his ability to bite on things. Right. That's how they're going to scheme against him.
That's
and they know this. I'm not the only one who sees this.
He doesn't have makeup speed either. Once he gets going one direction, that's it. He's not.
Yeah, he does. He does not shift directions well, but he's really good around the line of scrimmage. And Jamal Adams is not the best in coverage either. But look at the amount of sacks he gives you in a season. So, do you think they use him that way?
I wouldn't be surprised if they turned him into a. Oh, we got the echo back. The echo's back.
Okay.
Sorry about it. I wouldn't be surprised if they turned him into a linebacker.
You still have it?
Test. A little bit.
We'll take care of this.
That's all right. I wouldn't be surprised if they turn him into a linebacker. Here's the way. You can't put him in man-to-man coverage, Sybilla. You can't. I don't think that's better. That's fine. Can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you can't play him in man-to-man coverage at all in the NFL. What he's going to do is try to play like really heavy on one side and force you one direction, and he's going to get crossed up. But if you play him like in two deep zone, or you play him underneath in cover 3, he could be good, and he could be a good blitzer too. So as long as he's not in man-to-man coverage, I think there's a lot you can do with him.
I would like to see his man coverage get better, and the reason I say that is because of how physical he is when the ball's in the receiver's hands. You just pointed out that he basically can steal a pass. I saw that in that game too. He broke something up as well. Yeah. And I went through his whole season actually a couple of nights ago, and he got a lot of things where he's able to time the hit in the pass sometimes. So zone coverage does kind of go with that as far as basically allowing a play to develop and timing your hits. Emmanuel Mosley has shown some flash with that from time to time. So Hufanga, to me, he needs to be somewhat of a hybrid or a box safety, and I love to see him blitz.
Yeah.
Don't trust him in man, and if he's going up against the DeAndre Hopkins, he's going to get burned.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, so I would never have him as a single high safety. He doesn't have the range.
He needs help.
But
he will punish you over the
middle. He could do it. Like what I remember was Dante Whitner. Now, Whitner was fast, but Whitner was 5'10". He was terrible in coverage. He was a first-round pick, but he was a bust on the Bills because he couldn't cover man-to-man. Fangio didn't ask him to. Fangio said, man, you just play split safety in two-man coverage or quarters coverage. We'll let Patrick Willis and Navarro Bowman cover man-to-man. Don't worry about it. He was great in that role.
And we have Fred Warner and Dre Greenlaw, and I think Dre Greenlaw will take a step forward this year, but Fred Warner he busted up the fact that us defensive backs are the best coverage people in football when he came in the top 5. Remember, as coverage, PFF named him into the top 5, and he's a linebacker, the only one. So maybe that will help Hufanga, and that's why I want to see him around the box sometimes and getting pressure. If he's free to roam, free to hit, free to stick his nose in on things, he'll be a good cleanup player, and that's where the John Lynch sees himself in Hufanga, because John Lynch was around the football, had a nose for the football, hit viciously hard. I mean, he'd have thrown some flags today. But Hufanga has that, but he doesn't have the hands or the ball skills of John Lynch.
Right. And on third down, you don't want Hufanga in man-to-man coverage. You want Jimmy Ward.
They will target him.
Jaquaski Tart. So if you want Tart, Ward, and Warner in coverage, now you can use Hufanga as a blitzer. You can use Dre Greenlaw as a blitzer, and I think that's probably the Niners' vision for Hufanga.
To back up your points about zone coverage with Hufanga, he played against Washington State, and he picked up an interception in that game that was tipped and underthrown.
There you go.
Because he wasn't near the receiver. He was in the general area.
There you go.
And that's where that makes your points.
Yes.
He also has the ability to jump passes.
Exactly. A guy like him is better reading the play than turning his back and trying to chase someone around and be athletic.
Remember the UCLA pick six?
Yeah, I remember the UCLA pick six.
Of course you do.